This is GTFO Live. We are members of the Golden Triangle Free Thinkers Organization. There is one Will Messier in here. There is also a Vic Demented, as well a Jerry Mandarin. See if you can figure out which one's which.
Which one's which?
Ew. I think I need more mic. That was so much louder than me.
Yeah, it is a little
just
bit.
A little bit more. There it is. I like
Awesome.
it. Well, we hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving weekend. Hope you gave thanks to the appropriate deities for the stuff that either you earned yourself or someone else gave you over the last year. So, hope you enjoyed that and ate plenty of food just to make poor people jealous.
Yeah, and the Black Friday deals.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Jesus would have approved of that, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't he have,
We're celebrating the holiday in his name, so why not run over a few people for a $10 TV?
Yeah. I have to admit that I did participate a little bit in that.
Yeah, I was there. But.
Yeah. I actually waited in a line for an hour and a half, and they ran out of TVs right before I got to the right to the area. I got a rain check, though, which I promptly threw at an employee. So
that's good.
It was a good time.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Peace on earth, goodwill toward men, and here's your damn rain check back.
Yeah. So we had a show last week that was a little bit auto-tuned, or the like, and
we're trying new things.
Yeah, but it was definitely not our fault. Mostly,
sure,
someone else's fault.
Absolutely, we always blame someone else.
It was the internet connection, but whatever. We got it back. We got a whole new system. Thanks to Vic over here, who has masterminded.
Oh yeah,
the
whole shebang.
Something, all right.
Yeah. So we're going to talk tonight about what?
Well, we never did really cover elections too well.
We should.
Well, we tried to, but all of the robotic voice made it difficult to understand what we were saying.
Yeah.
Domo Rico.
So Obama won.
Yeah.
Right?
As far as I know.
But he only won because the Electoral College said they wanted him in the presidency, right? America voted in Mitt Romney, didn't they?
Actually, the Electoral College hasn't met yet, so no.
They meet on the 17th.
Secondly, Obama won the popular vote as well as the electoral vote. So
by a landslide.
Yeah. So it's not a. It's
and rich white men all over the nation cringed.
Oh,
yes.
Oh,
they said, "Oh no, our taxes are going to go up."
Balderdash.
What is this buffoonery going on in the White House?
To give up the Polo Club and the fourth Bentley.
I can't afford 12 cars anymore.
Yeah, so it
I know. I canceled my Bugatti order.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, this is bullshit.
Yeah, well, that's how it works sometimes.
You gotta do what you gotta do to get by, right?
Mm-hmm, right, and we're all going to be scraping by now that Obama is obviously president. So when does I had to ask Chuck Norris. When does the 1,000 years of darkness
begin? That's a great question because I'm ready.
I mean, is it Inauguration Day or is it?
I'm sick and tired of all these lights, the daytime, and these people. I need 1,000 years of darkness.
Well,
I would be happy.
I'm kind of a nocturnal creature. I like to stay up late while it's dark. It's not as hot,
right?
Which is beneficial. Around here, it gets very hot. We could have nighttime all the time. Wouldn't be hot at all.
No. Might get chilly, but we'll deal with that when it comes.
But the specific question, Chuck, when does it start? When does the 1,000 years of darkness start?
I think it just started.
I think so. The hounds of hell are at our door here. And is God just going to throw a blanket over the planet, or how is he going to cause an asteroid to impact us, causing another ice age? It's not really darkness. That's just like gray skies for about 50 years.
Something like that.
Depending.
Maybe the sun goes out. You ever thought about that one? I mean, that would
be great for global warming.
It would be.
Yeah.
The opposite would take effect, but
Well, I think if the calculations, are correct, we have another 5 billion years on us before the sun indeed does.
That's what you and Chuck obviously differ on this. Maybe
true.
you should just agree to disagree.
Yes. Unfortunately, he and I probably disagree on a vast many things.
Yeah.
I would assume.
A being how cool Chuck Norris really is.
I can't argue how cool Chuck Norris is, though. I mean, in every movie he's ever been in, he's been a badass. In some way.
Are just corny and
Sure they are.
fake looking and
So is Steven
ridiculous.
Seagal. I don't think we're here to...
Precisely.
I don't think we're here to argue
backing that up.
the validity of Steven Seagal.
We can evenly compare Steven Seagal movies with Chuck Norris movies, and no one would bat an eye.
And there you go.
They're both utterly ridiculous.
Very.
I mean, I don't get me wrong.
I like the word utterly.
Utterly it's a great...
Don't get me wrong. They're both fun to watch. I love watching them, but I do Mystery Science Theater on that kind of shit because
absolutely.
It's hilarious to watch an awful movie. I'm one of those that
I do that with Ghost Hunters and Catching Bigfoot and UFO Hunters and what's some other shows on there? Ancient Aliens.
Oh yeah, Ancient Aliens.
Yeah. The ancient peoples of Central America could not have cut straight lines into stone. Therefore, aliens. I just don't get it. The conclusions these people come to on these shows.
No possible way they could have.
Oh, we heard a noise in the woods. That's got to be Bigfoot. That could not have been coyotes.
It could not have been any one of 1,000 other varieties of life that live.
Or another Bigfoot hunter.
Right.
On the other side of the woods.
Because they always separate.
Yeah.
They go like way far, and they all have different calls. They were. I was watching one episode where they were talking about the different calls, and they were doing their version of them.
Yep.
And this one dude had this one was like this real low, low sound, and then the girl had this blood curdling scream. Then they cut to the video of them out there searching, and guess what? The guy heard the blood curdling scream, and he's like, "That's a squatch. I think that's a female squatch."
Yep.
No, that's the chick that's hunting with you,
That's
dude.
a female Homo sapien.
Well, I got a question. How many episodes of Bigfoot Hunters have there been? Is it
God!
a new show or is it?
No, it's a new show. Maybe the last couple years.
A couple of years.
Couple dozen episodes of this. And what's funny though, like Vic said, I mean, these people go to these town hall meetings. They have these town hall meetings where they invite the entire town. And these people know the woods better than these Bigfoot researchers, and they know that they're going to be out there somewhere.
Did we just call them Bigfoot researchers?
I did.
It actually seems to give them some kind of scientific
some kind of credibility. Bigfoot theorists, ancient Bigfoot theorists.
How about whack jobs?
Okay. It sounds a little pornographic, but
continue.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
but my point was that who's to say that these town hall meeting people aren't actually just out there trolling them, going woo, or whatever they're doing,
or some guy out there is like, watch this.
That's a squatch. There's a squatch. There's a squatch. Get off the plaster castings.
In all the episodes of these shows, have they ever caught a Bigfoot?
Not a shred of evidence.
Yeah.
Not one shred of evidence.
Ghost Hunters is another example. Ghost Hunters has been on for way more than 12 episodes.
Oh, yes. Several years.
Never a ghost.
Not a shred of evidence.
Never a ghost discovered or any evidence of a ghost whatsoever.
No evidence.
There are people actively searching for these things and can't find them.
Yeah.
Now, they're not like dark matter. They
kind of are.
Well,
yeah, but dark matter is...
Who's to say?
Yeah. Dark matter is way the fuck out in space.
Well, supposedly it's all around us.
But it's
right next to you.
Right, well, but...
Inside of you.
The mass quantities of it are not observable here on the ground, so... and the evidence of their existence is...
There's more evidence for dark matter than there is for Bigfoot or ghosts or... Mitt Romney. You take your pick. There's more evidence for these things. So let's talk about the election. I mean,
well, real quick, everybody out there, if you want to call in, Skype in, GTFOTX.
And that's it. That's all you have to do.
Skype,
that's
GTFO.
it.
Even if you agree with us that Ghost Hunters sucks.
Yeah.
Skype us in. let us
Yeah,
know.
if you want to tell anybody to...
If you're on the show, Ghost Hunters, Skype it.
Yes! I would love to hear more EVPs and how somehow that's evidence.
EVP just sounds like a urinary tract disorder.
If you have EVP...
Do you have EVP? Do you have the symptoms of EVP?
Right.
No,
Talk to your
so
doctor before taking any medication.
side effects may include instant death.
Explosive diarrhea.
Ooh.
Anyway.
Check with your physician. Now, so Barack Obama won, and to our listeners who are probably mostly based in the Southeast Texas area, they probably understand how the public reacted right after the election.
Oh.
Yes.
What was that? I got word, through Thanksgiving and everything, that one of my crazy siblings actually vomited when they realized that Obama had won.
I'm actually kind of impressed by
Like
that.
A good
serious. No. Like I can't handle this. The world's coming to an end. I'm gonna
It's
vomit.
1,000 years of darkness, yeah.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
Yeah,
It's darkness.
I could definitely see myself
Darkness.
vomiting had Mitt Romney won.
Well, yeah. Just thinking on how am I going to find enough money to move my entire family to another country?
Yeah. Or how would I deal with a Mormon president
Yeah.
who wears magic underwear?
That's a very good point. Do we know that for sure that he wears the magic underwear?
Is he Mormon?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then he has to.
Well, not every Mormon wears that.
Not
From
every
my
Mormon
understanding.
wears magic underwear?
No.
No?
No.
What?
I know it's a thing.
Doesn't the
that Mormons
almighty
have,
Joseph
but
Smith command it?
I don't know if Joseph Smith commanded it or if that was something that came along later, but there definitely is a magic underwear. And
yes.
bulletproof, from what I understand. So, knife-proof, bulletproof.
Well, that would definitely help the Secret Service. It would lower the cost on the
Agreed,
taxpayers
yeah.
for, if he would have won, the protection would have been minimal.
He wouldn't have to
He
have
could stop
protection,
bullets.
Actually. He would just stop bullets with his underwear.
Yeah. He-Man from Kolob. Mm-hmm. Is it Kolob, or is it...
Yes.
Okay,
Sure.
Kolob.
Well, that's where his God's from.
That's where
that may not be
Elohim.
Romney's planet. Whenever he
Elohim.
dies.
Oh, yeah, his God's from there. He's not from there. His
Yeah.
God is. Well, his God is not from there either. He lives there now.
Yeah,
That was the planet that he was given.
What?
Yeah,
This is the
it's a big eternal hand-me-down
Yeah.
religion. That's how their religion works.
Which doesn't explain... Okay.
But who gave the planet to Elohim?
It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. You aren't allowed to ask those kinds of questions.
But don't you have a hat nearby that you can look in and just find out the answer to that?
Yeah. But that information is not privy to us through Elohim. He held that information back. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
Yeah, it's not-
it's
it's not
like
really
what
important.
happened before the Big Bang.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
Just
matter.
send on the dotted line. It's don't worry about
pay your
reading
tithes,
anything.
you ungrateful questioner of religions.
Yeah, there had to have been a God before Elohim who gave Elohim this planet.
Yeah.
I've never actually heard that explained.
No, and I don't think it will ever be explained. Or, what's more interesting would be for a Mormon to explain why God changed his mind about black people in the 1970s.
Yeah.
Because before that, Elohim, God, whatever you want to call him, did not like African American people at all.
Right.
In fact, they were the people in heaven that didn't choose between Jesus or Lucifer when the whole battle between those two went down, and they were sent to earth as black people. And there are black Mormons who know this and believe this and follow it, and it's cool to them.
Yeah.
I can't relate with that at all.
Yeah, in the 70s, the Mormon Church reversed their stance on that. I don't know if that's still a thing, if they have to explain that black people were the ones who chose not to fight
Not to follow, yeah.
And the who remain neutral and were punished punished,
yeah,
by being given black skin.
And that's the mark of Cain, if I believe.
I have no idea.
If I know my Mormon history,
yes.
Which is ridiculous that I know that much Mormon history. Some Mormons know less about the history of Mormonism than I do, and a lot of Christians, as we three know less about Christianity than we do.
Yeah, no.
And it's pretty sad.
Welcome to the world of religious skepticism.
Yeah.
You tend to know a lot more about religions than the people who actually follow those religions.
Absolutely.
It happens.
So, Barack Obama won. What does this mean for the country? Besides the end of the end of the world, we're going to reach a fiscal cliff and everything's going to explode, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we're going to go up like kryptonite,
right?
Like Krypton, and we're going to have to send a representative from our planet to a distant planet where he'll have superpowers thanks to their sun, and that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, because if you take a human and you put him around a green star or a carbon star, let's say, for instance, we get special powers.
Right.
Right. That makes a lot of...
It does make a lot of sense. Just don't worry about it.
How can you fight that logic?
Again, religion.
So, I've heard a lot of talk on the local... KBMTs, the local news stations, and things like that, radio stations, blogs. There's people just going nuts over the Obama victory. I'd call it a landslide. And I think in the last podcast, the last one that worked, I predicted that Romney would actually win the popular vote, and that Obama would just win the electoral college.
What was yours, Jerry? What was
I don't remember. What did I predict? We'd have to go find that on tape. I said...
I think you said both would... I think y'all both said Obama would take both.
But you said it would be close.
Close electorally or close?
Yeah, both. You said that it would be close.
Close too, but I said
you said he would win, and you said it would be close.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I knew for certain it would be close, popular.
Right, but it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't even remotely close in the popular vote.
Number after they counted Florida,
it was over 3 million in Obama's favor. So I mean,
that's a tenth. Is that a tenth or a?
It was 51% to 48 or something like that is what.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, if you look at the Bush election, you look at either Bush election,
right?
By those standards, Obama trounced him.
Absolutely.
Well, it certainly was a trouncing.
And I went with it's not being close because I went with Nate Silver, and that was a safe bet, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I've never heard of Nate Silver until some people brought him up to me in the 538 blog.
Which, by the way, if you haven't researched the drunk Nate Silver meme, please do. There's some absolutely hilarious ones on there.
If you've seen Nate Silver on a program, he's always talking with his hands. But, that's just the way. He's an extremely intelligent person. Great at math.
Great at poker.
But conservatives, what's funny is conservatives hate him. The conservatives still hate him.
Yes.
Because they said he's just throwing out some fake numbers to make the liberals happy and to make the conservatives stay home on election day, try to get them, unmotivated, so they won't show up. And he was dead on. And they still hate him.
Yeah.
They hate him because he was right.
But he's not really... I don't think he ever makes a solid stand, on...
As far as his politics? No. His personal politics? I don't think he has.
He really never said anything like that. He just made a prediction, like he said, based on math. He can add.
Which, by the way, they didn't complain whenever he predicted the Republican sweep in 2010.
Right.
Really? So how long has he been blogging about election?
He started in 2008.
Okay.
The first year
so it's a pretty
really
recent thing.
Yeah.
Well, he predicted
few years.
the Obama win, the first one, the 2010 sweep of the Republicans, and then exactly what happened here.
Wow.
But you said it was a kind of a trouncing of Romney, but it was, if you look at the election as a whole,
it was a trouncing.
It was a trouncing of Republicans all around.
And that's what was going to be my next question. What is the future of the Republican Party if they have people, that say things like, legitimate rape,
That's over.
I heard there was a great quote. I can't remember where I heard it. I think it was from, might have been from George Clooney. I'm not sure, but it said, if you have to, if someone says, "Did the rape guy lose?"
Yeah.
and you have to ask which one,
Yes.
your party's in trouble.
Yeah, and I would say that a lot of that stuff, and even though, to play devil's advocate here a little bit, it's not all Republicans are believing this way and saying these things. Now, deep down they may be, but they're not outspoken about it. They're not, going to say it in a public, but they're definitely going to influence policy that they bring forward with those types of ridiculous beliefs. And, as American people, we would be, I think, irresponsible and letting someone like that have any type of legitimate power at all.
Yeah.
Legitimate power.
As opposed to illegitimate power.
Yeah, well.
Which, if it's legitimate power, it's you don't get pregnant, right?
Right.
Yeah, you got to watch out for people that you elect who openly think that women's rights are a problem, women's reproductive rights are a problem. Evolution shouldn't be taught in schools.
That's a big one right there for me.
Yeah, that's a huge one for me.
If I would have learned evolution as a lot younger lad, I think that I'd be a lot further along in my quest for knowledge.
Yeah,
versus a quest to improve my dogma.
But these are things to look for. If you have a highly superstitious individual who thinks that women and minorities are second-class citizens, don't vote for that person.
Yeah, and you hear Rush
Stay
Limbaugh.
away from that.
You hear Rush Limbaugh and all these Glenn Becks and the Karl Rove. Why aren't Latinos voting for us? We're doing everything. We have Latino senators and representatives. Why aren't they voting for us?
Because your party spends much of its time disparaging Latinos.
Yeah.
And talking about how they want to build a border fence, a wall, along the border, the southern border of the United States.
Didn't Berlin do that?
And to separate East and West, yeah.
Didn't they build a wall and there was a big, problem with that? Do you think Reagan would approve of a wall between us and Mexico?
Doubt it.
We already have
Reagan's
a wall.
far more liberal than most conservatives think.
He would have been primaried in this. Well, with the current Republican Party, I know they're trying to make changes now. They've got.
They're doing a 180.
Yeah, back to the drawing board.
Yes. they
Turns out the whole rape thing isn't a good election strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out everything we thought was a good idea really wasn't.
Really wasn't a good idea.
Because apparently the old evangelicals did not get out to vote.
No, they did.
They did.
Okay.
Yep.
They were motivated. They got out.
Rachel Maddow did a great piece on that. She said that was a myth, and that they voted in greater numbers, in fact, than they did in the previous election. However, everybody else came out to vote too.
Also.
And
and that's what made their vote ineffective.
Yeah, and they said that the whole concept of evangelical Christians being the kingmaker is maybe over.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that a great thing?
As long as you can keep people getting out to vote, people, non-evangelical, non-crazy people,
Sure.
if you can keep getting them out to vote, that always helps.
If in an observation that I had on election night, I was working late that night, so I came home after basically Ohio was called. And when I get home, I also learned that marriage equality won in how many states was it?
I think it was two.
Two? Maryland and...
or was that just the weed?
I believe
There might have
Washington.
been-
Weed
That
was
also-
2. Marriage equality was like 3 or 4, wasn't it?
It may have been. It may have been 3, maybe more.
It's been so long.
It has been a long time. But and also, like Vic mentioned, marijuana has been legalized in the first country on planet Earth.
Well,
We are
in the state.
No, we are the first country.
Right, but it's not the country. It's
Well,
not a federal
Yeah,
law.
it's not a federal law yet. But that's my...
I know. Second term. Let's hope.
Yeah, well, he has nothing to lose, right? And the ball is technically in his court. So the
I don't
problem-
think he can.
The bowl is-
He
The bowl
can't,
is
but
definitely in
I don't think he can. I don't think Obama can mandate that.
Yes,
Well,
he can.
but-
He
yeah, but
certainly
he
can. He can say you do not prosecute.
Well, that's what he could do. He can't legalize it. He could just take the existing law and decide not to prosecute
Sure.
it. He can give those
He
instructions
could
to
also
Eric Holder.
change he can absolutely change the schedule. He can change marijuana from a Schedule 1 to whatever the lowest is.
Yeah, yeah.
Right
below
now,
caffeine.
But he
higher
can't.
than
But
cocaine.
Yeah,
it would take
absolutely.
it would take Congress to actually legalize it.
But you could completely eliminate any federal punishment as a result because you could lower it to such a you could make it essentially a safe drug by lowering its
Right.
DEA schedule.
Right.
And he has absolute control over what the DEA does.
Right.
And in fact,
But-
a lot of people are kind of upset at
Again,
Obama because
this is only as good if, let's say, he did all that. This is only as good as long as his term lasts.
Right.
Then you hope the next person who goes in there has the same ideas.
Mm-hmm.
In order to actually legalize it, a Congress has to vote on it.
right.
And then from then on out, it would be totally legal.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be interesting to see how federal law will trump state law in this particular case, because the people of Colorado and Washington have spoken. You know, their mandate
federal law does trump it. It depends
Sure,
on whether
sure,
or not
sure.
the administration wants to enforce
wants to
that.
enforce it. Yeah, and in 2008, if we look back at the reels of Obama, he did say that he would not use federal forces to enforce state marijuana laws.
But they're currently enforcing it.
But not only that, he's done more DEA drug raids. His administration does, not Obama himself. He doesn't run in there with a gun. But his administration, just for those that thought he did. But no, his administration
Still Team 6.
is guilty of more of these dispensary raids than the Bush administration,
Right.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
And so the ball is definitely in his court, and I'm excited just to see how they do on marriage equality as well too, because that is also is it against federal law, or is
There
not
is
a
the
federal
Defense
law?
of Marriage Act that
DOMA,
is a
yeah.
current.
And so that's
I guess
law.
It's a law.
Yeah. Okay.
So
even if states legalize marriage, they can recognize it in their state, but say you move to Texas, a shining example of progressiveness in
Yeah.
the South, your marriage license is basically null and void,
Right.
as far as I understand it. So until we get some sort of level playing field, I guess, for all those issues, we're not really going to see much of a change, although the law does kick in, I think, in Colorado December 1st, and there are already people working on storefronts and coffee houses.
Oh my
as far
God!
as
I
I'm
cannot
aware.
wait.
Yeah, it's going to be many ski trips to Colorado, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the
maybe
ski industry's going to
moving.
take off.
Hey, moving is not a bad option. I mean, especially if you
There's no reason.
you want to go into business.
Yeah, no reason to stay here. That's
Tourism is going to skyrocket in Colorado. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
in a state that's already hugely touristic.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to
Yes.
be their economy is going to
Just
boom.
massive amounts of money.
Yeah.
Well, and let's talk about Washington too. Their economy is going to boom. They're right there at the border of Canada and
British Columbia?
which is known as one of
bud.
it's one of the marijuana capitals of the world, outside of Holland and
Yeah.
Amsterdam. Where,
In fact, they may even take over since if the Dutch continue their
draconian.
stupid, yeah.
But a lot of that is based on U.S. pressure, right?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So, and a lot of nations are really upset at the U.S. government because now we've legalized marijuana, and they're like, "Hey, wait a second! You just told us to crack down on this as much as we can, and now you guys are going to go over and legalize it, and you're going to still pressure us to prosecute these offenders, who are growing it, shipping it, whatever." So I think we're about to see that whole
Possibly,
thing
even though
collapse.
it's just state law, so it doesn't have to do with the federal laws.
We'll see, man.
Yeah, but it's not huge. I mean,
Yeah.
the federal enforcement of this is not really a big deal. I mean, you hear about a few of these, but it hasn't really slowed any of the consumption down. in
No, it
California.
hasn't. It never has, actually.
Right. So
And all it does is give kids easy access to the drug, because kids in high school can obtain very much easier than someone who may be in the workforce or may not be in high school or college anymore.
What? I don't know where you're going with that.
It's easier to obtain for younger kids.
They don't have to take a
When
drug
it's legal?
test.
No, when it's not.
Of course, yeah.
Like it is now.
Right.
Now, if you legalize it, just like alcohol, of course, we all know that kids don't go down to the corner store with no ID at all and say, hey, give me a six-pack of whatever. And they don't get it. You know, they okay, where's your ID? I don't have one. Get the hell out. You know. And somehow these people, especially in the South Texas area, were pretty upset when marijuana was legalized. I think they were almost more upset about gay marriage and marijuana than they were about Obama.
Really?
Some of them, I think.
Yeah.
Some of them, because there was.
I don't see. I mean, this is, and I have nothing to base this on other than personal experience. But I'd love to see some statistics on the overall feeling in the country toward legalization of marijuana.
It's about 51%. Right?
Yeah, it's over half.
I was going to say way more than it used to be.
And that's a Gallup poll, as far as I know, is what they're said. The approval rating is actually more.
Yeah,
than
but
disapproval.
it constantly goes up.
Absolutely, it sure does.
Agreeing with legalization of marijuana.
So did you guys see the story about Karl Rove and 2004 and the anonymous hacking of the Ohio election?
No.
It was posted in the group, but there was a story that was speculating. Well, Anonymous claims that they had hacked into the Secretary of State's election servers that does all the counting of the votes. And, well, they did so because Anonymous claims that in 2004, Karl Rove stole the election in Ohio. They said that because what had happened is at around 11:15 in 2004, at around 11:15 in 2004, the servers went down in Ohio, and at the time it went down, the count was strongly for Kerry. And then they shipped the votes to a third-party company to have them counted. When the site came back up, it had flipped for Bush in Ohio. And so they speculated that it was Rove tampering with the election. So this time they hacked into the servers and found that the security was really lacking.
Wow.
And that there were these back doors, these tunnels that were purposefully left open. And so what Anonymous did was they put a firewall in place to close the holes. But they're also, because it's their software running there, that they could monitor incoming connections.
I love Anonymous. Let me just say that those guys, whoever they are, man, they're good. They are good.
They announced it beforehand that they were going to do this, and of course they said that they were successful. And then again, on election night, Ohio servers crashed, but this time when it came back up, it was still Obama. Incidentally, it was the counties that Rove said on Fox News that he was waiting.
And that's why he was so mad.
That's why he was so confident that the number crunchers were wrong.
Oh, wow.
And
he was very adamant about that.
Yeah, because it was like, why would he say that? Why would he say that? Well, if the fix was in, of course you're going to say, no, it's not. Trust me. And then it comes up and he's like, what? It's not right. It's not right. There's something up here. When you're sure that you had the fix in. Now, they had announced that they were going to reveal the information that they logged, and it'd be interesting to see what they came up with.
Yeah, they have it. Yep.
Yeah, but when they do, if they do,
yeah, that
would be really interesting to see. I would love to see Rove in prison. I would love to see it go all the way up to, honestly, I would love to see some of the Fox News people get hit. I'd love to see some of the Republican leadership get hit.
Yeah,
that'd be lovely.
And some of them need to, for sure, go down for something.
Anything, is that what you're saying?
Something. Anything.
Something. God, stop.
Well,
Stop talking.
They go down for a lot of things. Actually.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's in a bathroom.
Yeah, well, most of them don't believe in sodomy, but they are guilty of it anyway, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, again, we are the Golden Triangle Free Thinkers Organization. We have a Facebook, and I believe it is Facebook.com.
You have a Facebook.
We all do, I think. But it's Facebook.com/GTFO Live. You can go there. I got it displaying on the screen with our little logo there. You can Skype us in at GTFOTX.
GTFO.
Skype in.
Skype in. We're tired of talking to
Skype
each other.
in.
I mean, we kind of do this every week, and maybe we're the only three that watch the show.
Yeah. Maybe we are. I don't know.
Oh, we got
We're just
people
doing this for our
watching.
own benefit.
So hello to our viewers. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes.
And send us your questions, and we'll get to them. So what else are we going to talk about? We've already pretty much discovered or discussed the.
We didn't discuss secession. That was a big thing that popped up. But it's already died out, though.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah. There was a small group, a very, very, very small group who
A few thousand.
put up a petition to
200,000.
secede, have Texas
200?
secede.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have Texas secede.
Have Texas succeed?
Secede.
Oh, secede.
SECEDE.
So
The opposite of seed.
of succeeding is secession.
Secession.
We used that joke last week, but nobody heard it.
Nobody heard it.
It's not like this.
But
Secession.
sounded like the old films you used to watch in class when the audio track would go bad right before the film would break.
And then the atom.
Yeah, that one.
From the nucleus.
It's a lot like that.
So,
But yeah,
so
a
there
couple
was
of thousand people wanted, a few thousand people wanted to announce that they went to the We the People page on the White House's website.
Yeah.
And where you can go and put a petition up for anything you want. You can go there and ask for more brown socks if you want to. You can literally put any petition you want up there. And thank you. And so they went and said they would like Texas to peacefully be allowed out of the union or something like that, because
That won't
they
happen
were a little
peacefully.
bit they were a little weepy over the fact that the black guy won.
Yep.
Everybody says that Texas can legally secede.
No, Texas cannot.
Where are they getting this from?
I have no
Great
idea.
question. I almost had a debate with somebody at Walmart about this.
I think it's a confusion because Texas can legally be allowed to divide itself into 5 states.
Where is that written?
That is written in the treaty that allowed Texas to join the union.
Yeah, at the original start of Texas, they wanted it to be 5 states.
Do you know what the name of the treaty is? What's the treaty?
No, I don't know the treaty.
Edited for rednecks.
Yeah, but
I know that there was another petition from the good people of Austin, Texas. One of our shining examples.
I signed that one too.
Yeah, one of our shining examples of normal people. Well, I can't say normal people, but sane people at least. That said that if Texas secedes, they would like to be brought back into the union via maybe a wall. I don't know.
More like Luxembourg.
West Berlin, yeah. Huh?
There'd be a little hole inside this country.
Well, that like when we talking about the 5 states of Texas at the very beginning, there was a piece there in the middle. I think it was called Aldisvarian or something. I saw this on History Channel, but it was a Dutch settlement, and they wanted to be their own state, but it didn't work out.
Well, but if you look at the Texas map when it was first brought into the union, it takes up parts of Colorado and New Mexico, and
there was a real anti-Texas movement in Colorado. They just hated Texans and Californians, mainly Texans because they didn't know how to drive in the ice,
right?
And they didn't know how to get off of ski lifts without falling and screwing things up.
Awesome.
But
Huge deals in Colorado.
My friend MJ, he loved to. He was a troll. Original gangster troll, and he had a T-shirt that he would wear that said "Ski Texas 1845" or something like that. It says, "We're taking it back," and it had the map of Texas where it took all the mountains. There was Colorado, but just the mountains were part of Texas.
Yeah.
At least we got the good part.
But no, for those of you who still think this and still insist on this, despite the fact of all the evidence you've been shown, Texas cannot legally secede.
Well, the
Even
only
if-
evidence that they've been shown is someone said it on Facebook.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only evidence
And that
they
makes it
have.
true, doesn't
and
it?
I've been told numerous times, you need to read a history book.
Yeah.
I have, and I can't find this shit. Somebody find it for me,
Yeah.
Well,
and
and-
your point will be proven.
If they can read a history book, yeah, just show us what page is it
Right.
on.
Just give me the book, show me the page,
and not only
back it
that
up.
though, but secession worked so well the first time
Right.
it happened. Everything was great.
Well, that's
Nothing
my
bad
other
happened.
series of questions. How do you plan on making this work?
We have
you think
our
it's
own
going to be
military.
exactly the same now?
What's
No.
the currency going to be?
What are you basing that
Texan-
currency on?
Cow pies?
Cow pies. What are you basing that currency on?
Barbecue?
Right.
Who's going to be our president? Rick
Country
Perry?
music? Discs?
Yeah.
I mean,
Or Chuck Norris.
Oh, Chuck Norris.
1,000 Years of
Yeah,
Darkness.
Great. We're going to get W
1,000
back
Years
in
of
there.
Darkness. 1,000 Years of Darkness is the feeling I got last time I watched a Chuck Norris movie.
I think you just turned off the lights and went to sleep. It just felt like a really long-
Norris in 1,000 Years of Darkness.
No, so that's my main question to secessionists is, it worked so well the first time. Explain how it will work even better this time. And the answer I get is, well, we have all the oil refineries, and we have our own militaries.
No,
and
we
we
don't.
have our own National Guards who would help us. We have a bunch of rednecks with guns.
Let me
and I'm sure they're all
let me
in
stop you.
shape,
Let me stop you there.
Tactically, ability, ready. On
Let
that
me
end of
stop
it.
you there. There is the Texas Guard, which, if you want to call that a military, you can. It's a voluntary militia.
Militia, yeah.
And it's okay. The armies you would oppose have things like
drones.
F-19, F-15s, drones,
F-18s.
tanks, F-18s,
F-22.
F-22s,
Aircraft carriers, nuclear subs.
Your Texas Guard,
Which
does not.
Romney had to
M1
be-
Abrams.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Your
a good
Texas
one.
Guard does not. You also do not have the Texas National Guard because that is a federal institution.
Is that why they use the word national in it?
Yes, that is exactly why they use the word
that's what
national.
that word means.
And yes,
Does
to
the
be
Texas
clear,
Guard have
yes,
Apaches?
before you throw this argument at me,
Apaches.
before you throw this argument at me, yes, the governor does have control of the Texas National Guard until the president says, I
don't.
have
Yeah,
control
yeah.
of the National Guard.
Does the Texas Guard have, what's it called? Cruise missiles?
Nope.
Oh.
No.
Do they also have aircraft carriers?
No, or subs. Or
Most Republicans
battleships,
don't
or-
know what aircraft carriers are. As we saw in the debates, Romney had to be schooled on what an aircraft carrier was. And what
but
it
they
did.
do have, the guards do have horses and bayonets.
Oh, there you go. They certainly
They do
have
have
that.
that, yeah.
And they're gonna win probably 0% of the battles with that.
But
It's
they
hard
do
to
have
gallop
them.
away.
I mean,
from an
let's
Apache.
Plenty of horses and bayonets here.
It's hard to
if you're
gallop
fighting
away from a
bears, yeah, if you're gonna
strafing
fight
run.
bears, yeah, or Boy Scouts, you might win that one.
Bears and Boy Scouts.
Horses are big animals that show up on thermal detectors, so I don't think many of the militia will get away on those horses.
It's
Especially when you have Apache
there's no way they
gunships and
can lose. Will
A-10 Warhogs.
they have the oil? Will they
Oh,
can
the
win.
oil, yes.
Because
Their oil,
Wait.
So let's say for a second that they are able to drill oil, in the ground. Because we know, since they don't have a Navy, they will not be able to drill in the Gulf.
Wait, oil
Right.
comes from the ground?
Well, not in the water, not out in the Gulf. Domestically within the borders of the Republic of Texas. Let's say that they're able to drill and get oil out of the ground there. Where are they going to ship it when they can't get pipelines, when they're all shut down? And how are they going to get it out of the Gulf through the U.S. blockade?
How are they
It
going
would
to?
ultimately be in there.
How are they going to get it off the drill site in trucks when the formerly federally funded roads are now falling apart and dilapidated?
Or bombed
Or bombed,
by
precisely.
the very cruise missiles that I mentioned.
Yeah, and you have no
Wouldn't
money
take
to
much.
rebuild them.
It wouldn't.
America could cripple Texas in a matter of days. I mean, you saw what they did to Iraq.
Well, they wouldn't even have to. They wouldn't have to fire a shot. Sanctions.
yeah.
And let's say they came up with their own currency, they would not get. Even if there wasn't even sanctions, they wouldn't get a single country to invest in their currency. It would be worthless.
And there's not enough gold in Texas to back it with any of that.
Yeah, I mean, they would see overnight the price of bread just skyrocket.
Yeah, but they do have a good point. Yeah, well, the rest of the world would be impressed with all this oil we have. Absolutely impressed enough to just come and fucking take it.
Yeah.
And Mexico's right there. It's not hard to walk
It would be hilarious to see Iran take over Texas.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I think the U.S. would step in and take it back before Iran
Succeed.
Actually, why? You had this group that just seceded.
But
and you
America
have no
wants Texas, man.
Huh?
I'm an American and I want Texas. I don't
know.
Even if I don't live in Texas.
I don't want Texans. I want Texas.
I want, the
so
state
let
is
Iran
beautiful.
come
Not
in
all the
here.
Texans.
Let Iran come in. The people that want to be a part of the U.S. will leave Texas, and they will become part of the U.S.
Going to Colorado.
That'll be over with. The people that will be left will be the psychos inside Texas, the rednecks that think they can fight off the Iran invasion with their
thousands and thousands
their
of their hunting rifle.
Because they have paramilitary training. You have training in squirrel hunting.
They play Call of Duty. They know how to say go, go, go.
So there's probably even some paintball guns in there. and then after they've gone through and cleared them out, then you invade Texas and take it away from the Iranians. And now you've cleared out all the riffraff in the state.
It's called natural selection.
in a manner of speaking. Yeah. Well, an interesting thing is we have all these oil refineries, but they're not owned by Americans, most of them.
Yeah, they're not even.
I believe
not even in this country.
Motiva, which is a big.
It's Saudi Arabian and Royal Dutch Shell.
Yeah,
so.
and they split it. I mean, because this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Right.
It's not even owned by Texas at all. And in fact, if Texas seceded from the Union, those guys would pretty much
actually absolutely hardly any of these refineries are owned here in Texas. The big ones certainly aren't.
Right.
ExxonMobil is an American company owned in the United States. Probably wouldn't operate in
the Republic
this
of Texas.
Rogue Republic of Texas.
Exactly.
Motiva is, like you say, Saudi Arabian, Royal Dutch Shell. Total is French. BASF is German. Which would probably, if we were going to put economic sanctions on Texas, would not operate here either.
No, they would definitely not. And I think most of that area is considered international ports anyway. I mean, I know it's part of Texas, but I think it's considered international stuff because you have to have a TWIC card to get out there and do your business or whatever. But
even if they stayed there, I don't see how you could get the state of Texas to enforce. Well, if they're not in they power themselves. Many of them.
Some of them do, yeah.
But how would you get them to enforce the tax revenue situation? To get them to hand over their tax revenues, how would you do that?
Yeah.
What means would you use for that?
But this is the delusion that these people have, is that somehow the oil will save the Republic of Texas and make it monetarily.
Well, it might, but you're not going to do anything with the oil if you can't get it out of the damn Gulf.
It's not worth anything to you if you can't sell it.
Right.
Because we export I think 80 to 90% of our oil that we drill here. People are like, well, we need to drill more, so gas prices will go down. No, that's not how it works.
We're a net exporter now under Obama. We weren't under Bush.
Mm-hmm. That's because they were putting
but he's
bunch of it
limiting the drilling. He won't let them drill, but we're the major exporter now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a moot point anyway because the grand majority of Texans don't want to secede. It's a pipe dream for you because you're a racist fuck.
Yeah, and you know what? And you know what?
Yeah,
those
Will.
People, yeah, I am. No, I'm not. But those people are like so American that they want to secede from America and become their own state.
Yep.
That's treason.
It is.
That's being a traitor. That's being un-American, unpatriotic. Everything a Texas soldier fought and died for in some other country would be for naught if they did this. And they don't care because the black man's in the White House, and that's all they care about. They just want their country back. They want their country back.
I don't know what country they want back.
I don't either. What do they want the 1980s back?
No, I think they want the 1950s back.
Oh, God.
But in the 1950s, there was about a, 70-some-odd % tax rate on the rich people?
Yeah. On
Actually,
people
it's
that
probably
made-
higher than that. Let's look that up.
The tax rate.
It was an
No,
extremely-
it's somewhere around 90. Actually.
It may have been around 90. It was an extremely high tax rate for rich people under a
Reagan
Republican
reduced it.
president. It was lower than it was during World War II, which, by the way, our economy thrived.
Right. It was. I think it was 90% back then, or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Something crazy
But
like that.
what you want is something that never existed.
Right.
You want a Christian country, a white Christian country that never really existed.
that doesn't abort fetuses, that doesn't allow the homosexuals to marry, that doesn't allow for immigrants.
Do they want to abort the homosexual fetuses?
That's a good question.
No, because you're not born gay, you choose to be gay.
Like they choose to be straight?
Right.
Exactly. You know,
And
you-
apparently, for a lot of them, they do. They just it's a choice. Mm-hmm. It's not a choice for me, but it might be a choice for them.
yeah, I don't remember ever choosing to be heterosexual. I just remember being in fifth grade or
Yeah, it was around
first grade and
92%.
going out.
I mean, first grade. Yeah,
in kindergarten, I'm like, man, these girls are kind of cool.
I remember coming out of my mother going, "Wow, that."
Yeah, the tax rate was
Man, I need to get back on one of these as soon as possible.
the tax rate was as high as 92% in the 50s.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. I'm pulling up some links here, but my computer's a little ancient and slow.
So I don't know what America you want that you think existed when you were a kid. It didn't exist.
It didn't exist, but why can't we have an America
I mean,
where everybody is
what you want
equal?
is
I don't know, I get
an
it.
America where Jim Crow laws were in effect,
Exactly.
where most people were openly religious, outright religious, and they expected that to reflect in their government.
Yeah, the massive moral majority, and I don't even know if you can call them a moral majority anymore. I think this last
I don't even think you can
election
call them
kinda-
moral.
Well, you definitely can't call them moral, but this is what they call themselves, and I think they're in a panic. The people who listen to Pat Robertson and Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh,
They've
these
been in a
people-
panic for a while.
Yeah, well,
'Cause
especially since
black people.
Obama won the election again. I mean, these people are talking about leaving the U.S., but they're so patriotic. And
Yeah,
they're so-
they just can't do it.
yeah.
I would have left. I would have.
You know, I
done
can
everything
direct
I could
you-
if Romney would have won. I wouldn't have asked for a secession.
No.
I would have moved.
I can direct you to some Orbitz deals if you need to get out of here.
One-way ticket, man. Those are cheap.
Those are cheap.
Those are
Somalia
cheap.
calls. Get on it.
Hey, and Mogadishu, I hear, is a thriving town.
But
It
I
is.
couldn't go to Somalia because the country that I'm looking for isn't like that.
Right.
That's the country that the GOP would like us to return to.
Yeah. Well, they want a theocracy, don't they? They want to live in a place like Iran.
Yeah.
But they don't
Or
want
Kabul.
to. They want their own rules, right? They want their own little.
They don't like Sharia
Bubble.
law. What they want
Is-
is Mosaic law.
Exactly. And they want it to the T.
Yep.
So if you work on Sunday, you're getting stoned. That's what.
Well,
In
I
Colorado.
agree with that.
Yeah, in Colorado,
Your
You
boss
know,
is going to be pissed.
in
though.
Colorado, you can work every day and get
get
stoned,
stoned.
but you don't die at the end of it.
Your boss is going to be so angry.
They don't bury you to the neck.
You were stoned at work again?
You cheated on your wife. You're getting stoned.
That's the excuse I would use.
Hey man, I worked on
I
Sunday.
was stoned!
I need to get stoned, okay? I mean, I worked on Sunday and I picked up some sticks and I gotta get stoned.
I don't want to. If I'm gonna pick up sticks, I gotta be stoned. If that's my job, I gotta get stoned for
And
it.
I've been talking back to my parents for the longest time, hoping to get stoned. And
Fuck you, Dad! Fuck you!
fuck you!
Where's
light it
my
up!
weed?
It would light it up!
Oh wait, that's not what they meant. Context is everything.
All right, let's one more topic before we go.
One more.
We had here locally in Nederland, we had a nativity scene at a church damaged.
What? Somebody
looks like,
damaged it?
looks like someone drove into the. So, I know, baby Jesus. It was a live nativity too, but no one was there at the time. That was
Activity, but it was bacon.
which would have been like the greatest, like Smokey and the Bandits type scene ever. just baby Jesus, Mary, and everybody hauling ass, jumping to the sides while the car comes through.
Man. In
I envision it now that we're bringing this up. I envision it as a Firebird with the engine, with the hood painted in the big.
We got Smokies on our tail. Come back.
Who's doing it? Who's doing it? God is doing a new thing.
Which way? And I don't agree with the whole. I don't agree with the vandalism part.
I don't either.
It's personal property, even though it is a church. It's a private property issue. Don't go fucking shit up. But
you're
it doesn't
assuming there was vandalism.
I'm assuming there was. Actually, if I had to assume, I would think it was somebody who was drunk and made a wrong turn.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like.
Onto the grass. Which, hey, that happens, man.
No, that
I've
happens
made
a
wrong
lot,
turns
dude.
Sober into the grass.
You know how many cars go into houses and businesses all the time because somebody thought it was a street when it was actually a yard?
But they don't say it, the atheists vandalized that liquor store last night.
No, they don't. They don't.
They drove straight into that thing, man. No regard for life. But that,
I'm sorry, I still got this vision in my head of a live nativity being run through with a car. I'm just laughing at that.
Well, hopefully somebody remembers to grab baby Jesus. As long
but
as
it's not, a horrible thing. The most horrible thing ever. I've seen tears from people on the Facebook where they're just. It's a horrible. Oh my God, this is awful. How could you be so disrespectful? You're going to hell for that. It's a freaking live nativity scene.
I saw one person comment said that they wish they would be charged with a hate crime. Whoever did it would be charged with a hate crime.
I saw one that said that they should be hanged for it.
Yeah.
A hanging.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
A hanging.
Because we crashed into your false idols. Your false effigies
at
that you
worst
erected.
Vandalism or drunk driving, one or the other. Calm down about it.
Yeah.
It's
going to be
okay.
If it was vandalism, it was totally justifiable in my opinion.
I can't say I don't endorse vandalism.
No, I can't say
even though it's funny.
I can't condone it, but I can say that it probably was just.
Maybe.
If somebody, so you say you can't endorse vandalism at all
of that type. No.
What do you mean of that type?
I wouldn't say I couldn't. I wouldn't say I couldn't.
But if someone
endorse
had painted on it, you would have been okay with that.
If somebody had painted on it, no, probably not.
See, I mean, so you're against graffiti?
No, not necessarily.
Art.
Well, I'm just saying that damage to property, and it's not always. It's not. I can't put this in 100% terms. But this type of vandalism, I don't approve of.
Well, if it was vandalism, you're making a statement.
If it was
this was vandalism.
Yeah. No, I don't know that it was vandalism.
Guy just
if it was vandalism.
If it was vandalism.
No, whatever it was, I don't necessarily approve of it. If it was a drunk driver who hit it and drove away without taking responsibility for it, I don't approve of that either.
But as an atheist, it doesn't necessarily bother me that these nativity scenes are all over the place because I laugh at them because it's just weird.
It's silly.
There's one on the way when I came over here, and it's lit up from the inside. These characters are lit up from the inside as if there's some sort of, glowing entity. And then
imagine
either that or they
like
ate
back
magma
in the first century.
Oh,
they would have been burned as witches if they'd have been glowing like that.
Absolutely.
Either that. Did they eat magma? How does that work?
I think they have stars inside of them.
They have stars.
Microscopic stars.
But, and again, this goes back to another question I have about the divinity of your God, of your Jesus. Why would God allow this person to destroy this nativity scene?
Oh, he wants to test our faith.
Well, no, it's not testing your faith. It's just making you spend more money on...
But wait, testing your faith, does he not know what your faith is?
Yeah.
Why does he have to test it?
Well, no, but God does things for us because...
Well,
you have to understand, I'm trying to pull from the mini...
Go.
Shouldn't...
let him get into character here. Come on.
I'm trying to pull from the mini debates that I've had on
Facebook. In the least...
We can't know the mind of God. We can't understand why God wants the wind to blow from north to south. Even Jesus said he doesn't know which way the wind's blowing.
Why the wind?
He doesn't?
That's what Jesus says.
Why the wind when it comes in?
Stick it in the air.
But he says there's no way to predict which way the wind will blow or something.
Really? Is that true? I'd like to look that up.
That was 2,000 years ago.
Meteorology has certainly changed that.
So apparently Jesus has not the ability to see into the future.
But if
at all.
But even
know which way the wind
but
blew.
my point is, at the least, even if he couldn't stop the destruction, shouldn't he come down and pull this person out of the house, whoever damaged this nativity scene, and go, here's the guy right here. You're all looking for this guy. He was the one. I saw the whole thing happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm omnipresent.
Yeah, and what about that 50-car pileup that killed 2 elderly people? You know,
Right.
where was God during that?
Right.
You know, I'm sure the prayers were being offered up. I hope our family makes it safe to enjoy Thanksgiving with us. But God was absent.
God didn't answer those prayers. But you know whose
But yeah,
prayers He
exactly.
surely did answer?
Yeah.
All the people on Facebook that says, my prayers are with the families that were affected.
Yeah, yeah. Or thank God for helping me find the multi-output so I can hang my damn Christmas lights.
Oh, yeah.
But sorry for the family that lost their 2 grandparents.
Yeah.
And
you know.
any of the football teams that may
God.
have won this weekend.
Thank you, Lord, for
By the way, that team
letting
is
the
out. That
judge-
team got eliminated.
Oh, they
a
were
while back.
gone. Kuntz.
Yeah, they're done.
Oh, well, I know, because I prayed to Satan that they would. But
Satan's way more powerful than
Obviously,
he
he
totally
is.
is. People who pray to these other gods are morons.
Chumps.
See, I was
Satan has like a perfect record. Everything that works in my life is a result of a
See,
prayer
I
to
was
Satan.
praying to Odin. I think it was my prayers to Odin that
Ooh,
helped.
Odin.
No,
Because Odin will kick
Yeah.
that god's
There are-
ass.
No, Odin peaked in the Ice Age.
He didn't peak nothing, man. He's still got a 6-legged horse, dude.
Yeah, but you know
He's a badass.
Yeah. What's he done since he got rid of the Ice Giants?
Nothing. He hadn't had to do much.
He hadn't had to,
Nothing.
yeah. There's no
Well,
more.
Satan may not have gotten rid of any Ice Giants, which he could have done because he's in the fire and brimstone and all
Yeah.
that. But he's a lot more active now that football season is here. At least for me.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's got a lot of
and
friends
the-
in bookies and stuff like that. A lot of
Well,
bookies,
yeah.
And the Kuntz
associated
people,
with Satan.
the Kuntz people are like, well, this is proof that God answers prayer because we won, but they didn't win. They don't even understand that this last stay, if you will, whatever it's called, injunction, whatever.
Injunction.
That is the last one before the judge has to ultimately rule. And once he rules, yay or nay, if he rules in favor of the kids, then it goes to the Supreme Court, more than
It doesn't go to
likely.
the Supreme Court.
Well, if somebody brings it.
It goes into the federal system, but
Up
it
the
would take
chain.
a while. It'd have to change. It'd probably go to the Ninth Circuit, actually.
Ninth Circuit.
But is that if the school continues to fight it?
Yes. Well,
Yeah, and the school has no choice,
yeah.
really. They have to fight it.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, they have to follow their legal
I'm
counsel.
not sure. I'm kind
I
of
would
confused
think.
if it goes to the Texas Supreme Court or if it goes to the Circuit Court.
If you are an expert on law, Skype us in and educate us on how this Kuntz independent school district using religious banners would work, because it is a very complicated issue, and it's apparently divided a community. And I'd say that we are probably in the
worthless
minority.
community.
Well,
That's stinking community.
yeah, we're close enough to have it as a stain on our back, that's for sure. But
Excuse me? What?
Well, we won't go into
How many
that.
stains do you have on your back?
Don't worry about that.
I got nothing on my back.
But it's going to be an interesting thing for us to follow. That's for sure. And we'll know about that next June. So
June, yeah. So.
and we'll know about several other things in December. We'll figure out which way the Electoral College votes. December 17th. I think December 6th, the law of marijuana goes into effect in Colorado and Washington, and so does the marriage.
Washington State.
Whenever
they passed theirs,
Yeah.
they had 250 cases on the docket for possession
Yep.
of marijuana.
They had to drop all
They
of them.
didn't have to.
They
said
expunged
did.
them.
There was no point to
They
it.
dropped them. They said we can't try people, even though the law is not in effect now. We can't try people for something that'll be legal
Right.
in here in a few months.
That's right. What about all the political prisoners we have, like Mark Emery and people like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
who lived in another country, and because people from the States bought his seeds, he was responsible for over 1 million pounds of marijuana in a year, which makes him, if they're right, the single most successful grower in the history of mankind ever. Obviously, he didn't have a
Sweet.
hand in any of these grow ops, but he produced the genetics, which went down. We have political prisoners like that. How many times are we going to prosecute Willie Nelson for driving into
And
Texas?
Tommy Chong.
And Fiona Apple. Fiona Apple was recently arrested in Texas. She was going to do a concert in Austin or Houston the next night and got arrested for 4 grams, I think. 4 grams of
They
marijuana.
arrested her?
They arrested her and took her to jail because she had hash. And hash, for whatever reason, is labeled as a harder drug than actual cannabis.
How can it get more than a Schedule 1? That's up there with heroin.
You would think, but apparently it carries a double sentence or something like that. It definitely carries a hasher penalty.
Hasher penalty. I get what you did there. I see what you did there. Boo. All right. Well, do we have anything else to discuss?
Oh boy.
We don't really have anything else to discuss unless the public does, which we have several viewers, but everybody's being a little bashful tonight.
Well, maybe next time. All right, well, that's going to be it for this edition of GTFO Live. I'm Jerry Mandarin, and that's Vic DeBidit and Will Messier. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Yes, we will.
Good night.